Everybody get down. It's a sticker, put the microphones on the ground. I'm robbing suckers, so fuck the bullshit. The art of MCs like I'm John Wayne, true grit. Let's blast off into the atmosphere. Come on, you can't comprehend cause I'm ahead like years in the mosh pit. That's my world in here. All the ladies give a dome like a world premiere. So what you want? Give it up for ruckus once. Let me knock it, let it run. Ride with us, so get the gun. So live it up, let's have some fun. 91, let's get it, son. Bring it back to what it was, cause I'm still number one. I'm still number one. I'm still number one. I'm still number. Call me the chief rocker, booty knocker, vampire MC, the day walker. Put my blade through the shook one, shoot one, who's run? I'm the apparatus cooking MC's wood done. So let this bull run, no sleep like Brooklyn. Don't need to creep when I'm screaming you the fool, son. I'm having good fun, rocking this destruction. True MC, this white boy made you look dumb. So what you want? Give it up for ruckus once. Let me knock it, let it run. Ride with us, so get the gun. So live it up, let's have some fun. 91, let's get it, son. Bring it back to what it was, cause in the end I'm still number one. I'm still number one. I'm still number one. I'm still number one. I'm still number.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I muted myself. Forgot to mute.
Okay.
How's it going, buddy?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Not a whole lot. Just chilling out, winding down for the night.
Right on. Well, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. What's up, everybody? Yeah. Lows and Loud podcast in the house. Ruckus.
So, what's been new with you?
Wrapping up the Ruckus mixtape volume 4. I just got everyone's tracks done, so we're mixing it right now. I'm getting that all set up with the CD release parties. We got one in Cudahy, Wisconsin, and we got one in Las Vegas, Nevada. And then I start the Generation to Generation tour February 20th with Scarhead and Disaster Piece. We hit start in the Midwest, go to the East Coast, down south, all the way to Florida, and up through Alabama, and end in Tennessee.
Oh, nice little jaunt there.
Yep. I think we got like 14 or 15 shows in 2.5 weeks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Kind of touring old schoolish.
What's that?
Kind of touring old schoolish there. That many days and such little days.
Yep. 3-week tours are good, especially when I was younger. I like doing those 2-month tours, but as you get older and you got kids and family and shit like that, those 3 weeks are the best. I can't sure. Longer than that sucks.
Oh yeah, it sucks after the first day being away.
I do like traveling, but it does get repetitive after a while. So but I love it. I love music.
What's your favorite part about touring besides like connecting with fans?
That's probably number one. Just being able to be around music. I like talking music. I like being around creative people. I like the personalities. I don't like the same thing every day. Like I couldn't do like a 9 to 5 like on a computer, even though I'm on computers all the fucking time. It's when I want to do it. You know what I mean? So I kind of enjoy that freedom.
So it's been 22 years.
For what? Music?
Yeah.
Shit. I've been doing it since it's actually longer than that, but officially the first big release I ever did was 2001, 2002. That was the first Soar record. That was the new metal era. So we had a new metal record and we toured with everybody. We actually did a lot of stuff with Commonwealth Kings, Head PE, 40 Below Summer. a grip of people, you know what I mean? From the new metal era. I never got to play with Limp Bizkit. That kind of sucked, but or Deftones. I did Papa Roach, did a bunch with Papa Roach.
Well, it's never
Seven
too late
Dust.
to do with any of them.
What's that?
It's never too late to do anything with Limp
No, I
Bizkit.
know. One of these days, I want to do a show with Limp Bizkit. That'd be amazing. I did a lot with Insane Cloud Posse back in the day too. So,
How many have you performed any gatherings?
Primer 55, my other band, we were headlined. I think it was 2008 or 2009. It was Primer 55, Twisted, Ice-T, and 2 Live Crew on the main stage. It was pretty awesome. We opened that stage up, and then 2 Live Crew played after us, and then I think it was Twisted, and maybe it was Boondocks and then Ice-T. Maybe Ice-T was the headliner. I can't remember, but I'll never forget seeing Coco. She was there with Ice-T, and I was like, damn. She was good looking.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay, yeah, I remember that now. I remember your set now.
Yeah, yep. That was fun. I still got shit. I should have brought the memorabilia. I got the backstage passes. I still have the contract that they sent us for that show. I think we got paid $1,200 to perform. And I was like, all right, we're gonna get the. It was, and it was the only time I ever performed with Kobe Jackson in the band from Primer. He was the original bass player. So it was Kobe and Bobby Burns, the original Primer guys, and then it was me, Kurt, the guitar player, and then Mike, our drummer. So it was pretty dope to perform with all them. Before that with Primer though, I think you know the band Fozzy? It's Chris Jericho's band.
Yeah.
Their drummer Frank Fonseray and Billy Gray were in Primer 55 before they went to Fozzy. So now they're in Fozzy. So yeah, it's a family tree of all the different people I know in every band.
Oh, for sure. What was now? Have you gathered without performing at the gathering?
I have never. No, I've only been there once. That was 2009. Sadly.
What was the wildest shit you seen there?
You know what? It was. I mean, there's a lot of naked people happening there. I'll tell you that. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just. My favorite part was just drinking from sun up to sundown, and then a little extracurriculars, and maybe a little ecstasy and stuff like that. So it was fun with that. But I think even 2008, 2009 wasn't as crazy as probably the last. I read a lot online of what happens every gathering, and I think it's even more nuts now with the porta potties and shit like that.
Oh yeah, motherfuckers getting blown up in them and shit.
I definitely want to go back to one though. I've done a couple of the what is ICP doing in a couple weeks? They got the Juggalo
Weekend.
Yeah, Juggalo Weekend. I did that in Vegas 2017. Performed on that. I actually brought not King ISO, Twisted Insane out for a show on the end of the run on a Sunday after it was all done. So it was kind of like an extra day of Juggalo Weekend.
For sure. If you can make day 0 this year at the gathering, you're more than welcome to perform day 0.
So how does day 0 work? Like where is it back in it's back in Illinois, right?
No, it's still in
Ohio.
Ohio, yeah.
Okay, all right. Where was I at in 2009? I thought that was Illinois that I was in. Was that Southern Illinois?
Cave Rock, yeah.
Cave and Rock. That's right. They never brought it back there, huh?
No. What was that?
I'll have to figure that out. It's usually in August, right?
Yeah, it's August. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can make it, you and any of the fucking Force 5 homies, you're more than welcome to do day 0 performance. Put on.
I know Danny wants to do it. We've been trying to get Scarhead. We've been trying to get Scarhead to do it, but it never seems to work out. I've talked to them over there, and it just hasn't worked out the last 4 or 5 years. So, right. But we'll see. We'll see what happens this year. Hey, Violent J, bring Scarhead or Force 5 out. We'd love to do it.
Right. What's the difference from your writing now compared to like 15 years ago?
What's funny is when I was younger, I always was worried about getting older. I wouldn't be able to write the same, and I was worried I'd lose my edge. I actually feel like now, as I'm older, that I write with more purpose. Back in the day, don't get me wrong, I like wilding out songs and stuff like that and just talking shit. But I don't want to just write talking shit songs. Like I've had so much experience with, just life in general, growing up, addiction, all kinds of shit that I feel I haven't even hit my peak in songwriting. But 15 years ago, I was worried that I wouldn't be able to write a song at the age I am now. And now I'm like, I'm an idiot. I have so much more to write about now. So I write with more purpose. I actually sometimes I'll go into the studio and go, I'm just going to write to talk shit today. And those songs are so easy to write. Don't get me wrong. They're fun. They're the funnest to write, but they're easy because it's just whiling out. You know what I mean? And songs with purpose, it takes a little bit more, but it hits a little bit more in the heart. You know what I mean? So I'm enjoying music more now as I get older than I did when I was younger. And I have loved music my whole life. I can't believe my passions even get stronger as I get older.
What's your number one bucket list to do during your music career?
Well, I've never had a Billboard charted song. I'd really like to do that. We've charted on charts like iTunes and all that kind of things, but I'd like to get either a Billboard charting song where it says like, hey, there it is in Billboard, or I'd like to try to get a gold or platinum record. But as I get older, I don't think that's going to happen anymore. Like people don't buy as many, copies, and streaming is good, but it's also bad. And I just don't think it's going to happen. But those are the two things and my other bucket list thing is I'd like to tour overseas. I still haven't done that. I was supposed to like 3 or 4 times and it's fallen through. So before I die, I think that one I know will happen. I've had a lot of offers for overseas, but it hasn't happened yet. The other two, if they don't happen, they don't happen. Music, I'm still going to do music. I love it. And I get to make part of my living doing this. So it's awesome.
For sure. What's your mindset when you go into writing?
Like I said, it's funny because I'll just be sitting watching a movie or just hanging out with my kids or with my friends. And I always have things in my head. Like it's nonstop. My brain's always going. I'm hearing melodies. I'm humming something. And then something will happen. Like someone will drop a glass and I'll be like, all right, glass. And then something will just happen. I'll be like, I got to write around that. Or I'll watch a movie and I'll hear like a sample, a movie clip. I'm like, oh, that's a great topic. So, and then I write things down, right? Or if I got my phone, I'll just be like, glass fell off during party, guy was drunk. Or Bruce Campbell said boomstick in, you know what I mean? Like in Army of Darkness, write something about boomstick. And it's constant ideas. And sometimes they morph right away into a song. And sometimes I sit on them for a year and then I'm like, I forgot about that. And I see those notes again. So I literally have notes upon notes in my office here. And I also have them like strewn around the house and also like in my phone. So it's just nonstop. Like I don't know how to not create. You know what I mean? It's like it's just part of who I am. I've always been that way. Weird with it. So it's just.
You've never had writer's block?
I have, but it's usually due to a breakup or, like I said, addiction. It's never like when my mind is going like full steam every day, like a normal day. I never get writer's block. I actually have writers like too much. You know what I mean? Like I have to like bring it back because I'm so hyperactive in my brain. So I have to like tire my brain out to like not get writer's block is not an issue for me at all. Let's put it that way. Unless I do something to myself. I chopped up my arm. I'm not thinking about writing that day. You know what I mean?
Right. You got any music that you still sitting on from like years before that you plan on putting out?
I have. So my first band, Soar, we're still actually streaming really well. Like last year, I think we had almost 1 million streams across all the platforms. Now, mind you, that album is 23 years old now, and it's the only album we really released. But overseas, like people always talk about it. They want to order the CD. So I've had a lot of Soar demos that I've been sitting on. I've been trying to talk to a couple of the guys that are still alive. Tony, rest in peace, our drummer is no longer with us, but Vinny, our singer, I've talked to Joe, our guitar player. I have some really dope demos, and I want to remaster them, but I need them to like lay out a couple more things on the production end. So
for sure.
I really would like to get those out for people. I do have a ton of DRP stuff that's unreleased, but I don't know if some of it I'm probably never going to release. Some of it I might redo it in different songs. But Force 5, shit. Force 5 amongst a lot of the guys. There's a lot of unreleased material, so I don't know. We'll see what happens with a lot of it. But like the Source stuff, I really want to do something with right now.
Absolutely. You happen to know the Brew City Butchers?
Of course, Mutilator and Psycho C. Mutilator was part of Force 5 for a while, and he helped me on the newest Saint Dog record, Funky Soul, on Suburban Noise and Force 5. He helped a couple of those songs to get that to make those happen, because he was working with Saint back in the day while I was working with him too, but he did some studio sessions with him over at his house, and we had those sessions. So that's how a couple of those songs came to be. And then Ashley just talked to Mutilator. He just wrapped up a 8-bar verse for me for the Cypher for the newest mixtape coming out.
Yeah, buddy. He was at the show with me in Sioux City. He was like, "Yo, you fucking talking to fucking Donny tonight? Ask him about Brew City Butchers if he knew him and shit."
Oh yeah, it's part of Wicked Wisco. Wicked Wisco in the house.
Yeah, he just came up for a second, and I was like, "Yo, what was the name of that band you wanted me to ask about?" What was your first initial work with Suburban Noise Records?
Well, like I said, like we were talking before, I was trying to figure out the first tours I did. It was 2008 or 2009. I was working with Saint Dog. We did a lot of tours, and then we ended up doing a DGAF tour, and that's when I met Chucky, Hoss, and Gillies. So I got to know Kevin, not really, like it was through Gillies, because Gillies was really good friends with him. And, I had talked to him briefly through emails and stuff like that. And then, with the tours and stuff like that, I had brief conversations, interactions with him. But then 2017, when I was bringing Force 5 Records back around, I was working with Saint Dog on his newest record, Bozo. And I hit up Zinger, and I was like, "Hey, Kevin, I've got this album done. It's Saint Dog's. It didn't sit right with me that it was just going to be a Force 5 release, only because Saint is Suburban Noise, like the history. Like, people don't realize what a big fan of Suburban Noise Records I am. I absolutely love the whole catalog. I love all the artists, and I know its history. So it felt weird to release the newest Saint Dog record without talking to Kevin first. And I talked to Kevin. He advanced me a couple bucks that I had spent on it, and then we became partners in the album. And then he asked me to work for Sub Noise, and that's when I started working for them for a couple years. And then over the years now, I do a lot of production music, and I visit them, and I do help with some marketing here and there, and that's how it is.
Right. Now, those first couple of years, what was it that you were working for them doing?
I did a lot of like promo work for the albums when albums would be released. I was working on video ads. I got to help make the cover for a Mickey Avalon project. I think it was called Sweating Bullets. Right where this table is, the table is part of his CD cover, which is kind of dope. I had Rick Dog come over. The song was called Sweating Bullets, or the CD cover. So we brought all these bullets and we made a montage type thing, and it became the cover for that. So I've done some covers for them. Like I said, I did a lot of the social media work for them. Worked on a lot of the projects, marketing them. Shout out to James Wright. He's he was the second in charge at Sub Noise. He's a good friend of mine. He's part of Kerosene Media, but all the marketing through Sub Noise is through James, and James is like a really, really good friend of mine, and we're always bouncing ideas off each other. So with Sub Noise projects, we're always bouncing ideas of what we think could do and what could work, and blah blah blah. We're actually trying to work on a top secret project right now. We'll see if it happens. We're working on it for Sub Noise. It'd be huge.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. They're definitely my favorite record label growing up.
Yeah, mine too. I mean,
all about Cottonmouth Kings and Twisted.
Yeah, I love them all. Any major indies, like I respect more than any of the big majors. So don't get me wrong, I love Kendrick Lamar. He's a major. I always loved the Dre's of the world and stuff like that. But my heart's in the underground, because the underground is where I don't want to say talent. I just want to say it's like more like it's not washed in. It's more real in how do I explain that? It's just not watered down as much. You know what I mean? It's more real.
There's real meaning. There's real meaning behind it.
Are you guys trying?
Yeah. And that's not to knock a lot of these bigger artists. They're big because they're awesome, but they have 42 A&Rs and assistants with them, and it washes it a little bit as opposed to the underground. It's more punk rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. How did it come to you went by Doc P or Dr. P back in the day?
when I first started off, it was Dr. P, because I love Dr. Pepper, but that was such a stupid name. It was like that was like I was 16, 17, 18. And then it just changed into the DRP because that's my initials. So it was the DRP. And over the years, people call me Drip, Dirty Rotten Penis, DRP. You know what I mean? Like, there's always jokes about what it is, but it's the DRP,
Right.
But yeah, Dr. P, Doc P, Dr. P. I had still friends that call me Doc.
Probably known you since way back when.
Yeah.
What was it that brought you to make Force 5 Records?
So again,
Was that a vision you had when you were younger?
Yeah, yes. So basically, SOAR was there was 5 of us. It was me, Tony Leone on drums, Vinny, my other singer, Joe Andre, the guitar player, Kurt Kaufman, the bass player, and basically I was the manager too. So we toured a ton, like all around the country before, like, people even understood how to like tour like that, like independently. Like, independent rappers now, they know how to do that, but we're talking 2001, 2002, before the internet and all that kind of thing. So there was still emails. So I'm like, well, we're not signed to a label. So I'm like, we got to come up with a label, and we got to come up with a manager. So we became Force 5 Records because there was 5 of us, Force 5. And then my manager name was like, I can't remember, it was Jaff or whatever it may be. So I had a separate email for the manager, a separate email for the label, and then me as the singer, and when people would, I'd hit people up, I'd say, hey, this is Force 5 Records. We had a website, everything back in the day. Again, this is before MySpace, all this shit. So we looked super, super legit on all this shit. And then we got a lot of gigs opening for big acts all around the country because we were like, oh yeah, we heard of them. They played in Illinois last month with the Pimps. Oh yeah, let's bring them here to St. Louis. You know what I mean? Like, we toured everywhere, and I'd be like, yeah, we'll take 100. We were making $100 a night. We were barely making enough to get by, but we sold a shit ton of merch. We did over 5,000 copies of our independent CD just from touring by ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, that's unheard of. The only other people that could do shit like Wu-Tang, they did 30,000 in the back of their trunk in New York. But we went around the country and we sold 5,000 CDs. Like, we went to strip clubs on our night off. I'd pay the fucking guy $10 to play our song, and we'd start selling CDs at the strip club. It was great.
Without the obvious like social media help, do you think the grind for artists coming up is easier compared to back then?
Yes and no. The reason it's no, yes, it's easier is because for one, recording is so much easier. Everyone can record from their house now. You know what I mean? Like, so it doesn't take a lot to buy a beat from someone, or I guess live bands is a little bit different, but we'll just talk about, rappers right now and stuff like that. Like, it's not that hard to record, and then you just press a button and you shift it right off into Spotify and Bandcamp and, wherever, Apple Music. So that part's a lot easier. But what makes it more difficult is they figured out the algorithm now, and they know how to shut down independent bands. So it makes it a lot more difficult for them because there's a million more artists now. Back in the day, when you were an artist, they're like, oh shit, there's only a few of them in our town. You know what I mean? Now every town has it. So how do you distinguish yourself away from everyone else in your city? You know what I mean? So I think for the most part, and not everyone, but you still have to you got to get your boots on the ground and get out there and promote yourself and tour. You know what I mean? And not everyone is able to do that. So back in the day, I was willing to tour and do whatever and sleep in my van. and it put us a cut above everyone else because we were everywhere. But that's how you got your word of mouth. You know, you were out everywhere playing.
Yeah, and to get your name out there back then, you had to do work in the street. And
Yep.
it ain't
My
just
only gripe with modern artists and stuff like that is they're not cutting their bones live, and they may have a little bit of following online, but when you see them live, you're like, dude, they can't perform live at all. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So back in the day, you get booed off the stage. Today, I don't know. Everyone's kind of like, all right, there's 12 other acts tonight, whatever. There's too many acts on every bill, too, on the underground. Eh? We got to cut that down. 5 tops, 4 to 5, maybe 6 if it's 15-minute sets, but 12 acts in a night, it's killing the crowds. I don't care how much you love music. I love music. I'm not trying to see 12 acts in one night. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I don't know. What do you think about that? Oh, we lose you?
No, I was lost in thought there for a second. Working on the Funky Soul for Saint Dog, like,
Yeah.
what were the emotions going through your head while you were working on that?
It was heavy, very heavy. I actually finished most of the record a little bit after he died. We had about 90% of it done, probably about 4 or 5 months after he had passed, and it just never came out. And I thought it wouldn't see the light of day, to be honest. And I was like, I was okay with that. And then I don't remember what sparked it again. Maybe Kevin hit me up. I can't remember, honestly. And he's like, hey, what do you have left of that? And I said, well, this is what I have. This is what I could still put up. I could still create a couple more songs. I have a lot of Saints demos and things still sitting. You know what I mean? A lot of them are acoustic, but there's some rap stuff. And I found out Mutilator had a couple tracks. So we ended up putting the rest of it together, but mixing things and mastering it and then going through the artwork and then creating the CD cover and stuff like that. It was, it's rough, but I also know it was good because his ex-wife Megan and his son, they were part of the project, and they were there every step of the way, seeing things and what we're doing, and they approved or disapproved. There's actually a song they disapproved, so we didn't put it on the record, and so that's just sitting there. But I understood, and I said, okay, we're not going to put that on there. So, but it was heavy. And then I'll tell you what, when we shot the Funky Soul video out in where were we? Santa Ana, California. Me, Chuck.
I was hoping to make that out there. I wish I could have.
What's that?
I wish I could have made that out there. That was something I was definitely hoping to make.
It was a very spiritual vibe, and like we knew we were all there for Saint, and it felt really good. And dude, I had such a fun time shooting that video. Like, it was a blast, and it came out so dope. I was happy. We tried to do what we could to show Saint in the background. So we picked a couple videos that we agreed would, to show him, and we had Rick Dog show his tattoo with the, rest RIP Saint, and it felt good to do. And I just hope, the fan base likes the record, and it's a fitting legacy to him. Saint was super, super talented. He was a good guy, and we all miss him,
Absolutely. Definitely brought that funky feeling on that track.
Yeah.
What was the beginning process of that song and like the backstory from it?
So I actually have on YouTube, I show like the making of the Funky Soul song. Saint had like an idea for the chorus. He was trying to sing it. I think I showed the clip on the video. If you go to the Force 5 Records YouTube, I have the making of the Funky Soul song on there. And he wanted like a girl singer, the way he sang it, So I got my friend, 2 of my girl/friends, to come in the studio and kind of replicate it. And then the verse he had for it, he wanted to like do a full song. This is obviously before he passed. So we had that first verse kind of demo. So I had to like manipulate his demo to fit the chorus that we created. And then we put it together with the BPM around his idea, so that Saint had this incomplete idea. We had part of it, and then we kind of pieced it around me, Chucky, and Obnoxious with the beat, So it was basically Saint started the idea and we finished it.
And you got other tracks with Saint, correct?
Oh yeah, I got quite a few with the Force 5. We did one. I think the first one I ever did with him was 2011. It's called The Revolution Is Now. It's on my The King of Ruckus rap album. It's me, him, and Big Hoss. And we just spent a couple hours in the studio. And, dude, the Saints and my verse are great. But when Hoss was sitting there the whole time while me and Saint were writing and recording, and he was just sitting in the corner, and he was just vibing out, and he wasn't writing anything down. I'm like, Hoss, you're up next. Like, do you have anything written? We're almost done. He's like, bro, I got it. Never wrote anything down. Then he went into the booth, and what was supposed to be a 16-bar verse, he just kept going and going and going. I think it turned into like a 32-bar verse, and it's one of the best verses I've ever heard, and he never wrote anything down. He had that all in his brain and fucking just rocked that. Like, it's such a great verse. I'm like, fuck. Me and Saint looked at each other. We're like, bro. So that was like the first song I ever did with them. And then I've done a couple other ones with Hoss, but with Saint, I'm trying to think of the other ones. I've done quite a few with. I did Trap Jaw. So the original Trap Jaw is on, I think, the Ruckus Mixtape Volume 2, and then we remixed that. I took me off the verse, and then I put Son of Saint, his son, on it with Danny Diablo. So the remix is on the Funky Soul video, but the original is from the Ruckus Mixtape Volume 2. And then we've done some things with Wicked Wisco where we did some tracks. We've done a lot together, you know what I mean? And then obviously the two records that we did, well, Bozo we did together, and then completed the Funky Soul after his death.
For sure. I'm assuming Funky Soul's your top favorite out of the collabs you've done with him.
I honestly, I think The Revolution Is Now. I'd love you guys go check that song out. Saint crushes it. He's the first up in the verse, and then me, and then Hoss, like I said, destroys both me and Saint. Me and Saint will admit that to you. Well, we did back in the day. And shout out to Hoss. I know he just released an acoustic song with Sub Noise. I haven't talked to him in a minute. We were supposed to do some work together a couple years ago right before or right after the pandemic, but I haven't talked to Hoss in a couple years. I'm hoping he's doing well.
You care if I play this? That's on.
What's that?
Yeah, the first time. You cool if we play that quick?
Yeah.
My bad, I got stoned.
No problem, brother. I'm drinking whiskey and Coke.
What kind of whiskey?
It's Crown.
Hell yeah. That's all I drink if I drink.
Nice.
I'm gonna work my way around this part tonight. I'm gonna get fucked up, so is it dark or light? I'm gonna do some bitch, so give me liquor first. I'll be getting the clickers on the beer on nurse. Give me a Jaeger bomb, that'll cure my car. Jukebox to play my song, that'll start me off. Move to a Jack and Coke, hello my old friend. After that, I'm taking vibes from a two wise man. I need to balance, so I sip a Crown 7. Talk to waitress, dancing well, but there's no kissing talent. Bartender, you look good, this one is for you. I'm here to get fucked up until the party's through. I am a sad and solo side. I lay outside that bar door side. I I lay the ladies down to sleep. You are, but they're not killing me.
Face down, ass up, that's the way he likes to fuck. Now that I got you going, bug, get up on this ruckus truck. Yo, it's me, the D.R.P. Ride with me, come ride with me, get hot with me. It's time, the time to be up in our ears. The West Coast, the best hoes, ain't all killing these hoes like French toast or Mentos. I'm overseas with a peso, girl, give me your peso. This rap game, I wrestle, like Hogan, I so. I'm the macho man, it's stereo, how I bury hoes, like Mario, my fuck passe. Or spot so cotton show to all the world, we here to stay. Promote your joint, let's spark up the heat, get up in this beat, go follow the leader, we bringing it back, it's getting realer, the rockets don't front, say no to my dealer.
I am a sad and solo side. I lay outside that bar door side. I lay the ladies down to sleep. You are, but they're not killing me.
I got my booty shoes on the floor, drink in my hand. You know your boy be blowing smoke, inhaling clouds like Joe. Look things in my shirt, so sing from a gram of coke. Only hope I can find some mass I can grow. My liver's craving for liquor, bartenders. By the count, a whole picture. I see it double in the mirror from all the whiskey and beer. Did I make myself clear? Cause I be slurring my words, stroking Rick Dog's beard. I get distracted to study my work, my brain can't even work. Trying to flirt with the stop my hand up my skirt. I need a couple of shots to calm down. What the fuck does that sound? Some chick be bitching in my ear, smearing her makeup around.
I am a sad and solo side. I lay outside that bar door side. I lay the ladies down to sleep. You are, but they're not killing me.
Yeah.
What was the thought process in that one? How'd you come up with your verse?
So Saint actually had his verse done first, his verse done first, and then he had that chorus started, and then I added the second part, like the call and response. And he wanted to just talk about, like, me and him kind of both went through our addictions back in the day with things. So he wanted to talk about, drinking, partying, and basically he wrote, like, him being fucked up at the bar and, laying outside the bar door sign. And then I kind of flipped it a little bit, how just partying and stuff like that. Cause it was an upbeat track. So it was kind of like, yeah, drinking's fun, but also it's dangerous too. You know what I mean? So we're kind of like talking about our addictions and stuff like that to everything that we've done. So it was like, it's weird. It's like a party vibe, but also like we're kind of fucked up vibe.
For sure. I lost where I was going with that.
All good, brother. We'll keep it rolling.
When you first, obviously, did you meet Saint before that tour, like in person, or you just were hooked up and then you met when that tour happened?
Are you asking about the first time?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time I met him actually was
meeting, yeah.
So I again, it was the MySpace days, because it really wasn't Facebook or anything yet. I mean, Facebook was around, but it was all MySpace. I talked to him through MySpace, and we kind of like connected. I think I got him a couple like collab tracks with some people that I knew. So we started working on business together, and then I'm like, hey, let's work on a tour together. So I booked I think it was like a 5 or 6 day run, and I had never really met him yet until I drove out to Omaha. He came into Omaha with Gillies, and that was the first time I actually met him. Was actually at our first Omaha show, and that we crushed that show. I want to say that it was
local auditorium.
No, it was I can't remember. It was I can't remember what it's called. I think I can't remember what it was called. I know I played the Sokol Auditorium. It might have been. Fuck, I don't know now. but I know we played there. I think DGAF did a show there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the first time I met him. And then we did that tour and it went really well. And we started doing other tours. And then before you knew it, we were just kicking it, doing all kinds of different shit, you know, working on music. He would come here to Wicked Wisco and I book him for shows here. And we were just all over the place doing shows.
The Hideout. That's right. Dead Body Camp.
The Hideout. Yes, the Hideout. I think
It's
Petro.
now the Looking Lounge or something.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
the
think
Hideout was the shit. The owners were cool as fuck.
Yeah. Yep. And then I think Petro was one of the people from Omaha, the rapper Petro, that I actually have a single dropping tomorrow with. It's called Back With Some. My homie from Omaha, he's a huge SRH sub noise guy. And I think he booked that tour, or he knew the guy that booked it. And I became friends with him at that one too. So crazy how things work out like that.
You got any like must-have collabs on your list that you want?
I'm trying to think. Redman. I'd love to do Redman.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be amazing. If I ever did a new metal project again, I'd love to have Fred Durst. I'm a big Limp Bizkit fan. I like him a lot. Or Chino from Deftones. Deftones is probably my favorite band. So
Yeah.
Chino would be amazing. But you know, I'm good friends with a lot of people that I never thought I would be. So it's like, music is cool, man. it really unites you.
You never know what's gonna happen. For sure.
You never
met
know.
a lot of cool people just over the
Music
years.
Music unites us, you know what I mean? Like, would we be talking right now if we both didn't love music? Like, music unites so many different people. Doesn't matter race, gender, doesn't matter anything. Like, music is, I think, the most common denominator with society. And I think that's why I love it so much. And I'm not trying to sound kumbaya. It's just, I hate politics. I hate the way the world's going. But you know what? Music stays the same. When you talk music, it doesn't matter, man. Let's just talk music, you know?
Yeah, it talks to your soul.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. That's what I'm talking about, brother.
What's your underground pick?
Underground pick. Let me see. Man. Give me a second. I gotta really think about this because there's a lot of dope underground acts.
If it could be anybody, who would it be?
I'd also like to do a track with Yellow Wolf, but he's not really underground. Tech Nine, but Tech Nine. You know, I actually had a chance. I booked Tech Nine back in 2004, 2006, 2007, 2009. His first 4 or 5 shows in Milwaukee I booked, and I could have got him for like $1,000 for a verse back in the day, and I never did it. And it kills me I didn't do that because I love Tech Nine. You know what I mean? And he's one of the illest ever. It doesn't matter underground. He's not underground either, though. Underground, man.
I think the same thing on that. People try to debate that, but
yeah, he's not underground. Well, he started in the underground. Just like look at Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll is not underground anymore, but he was for years, and he ran with the same crowd and stuff like that. But you can't really call Tech Nine or Jelly Roll underground. You really can't call. Can you call ICP underground though? I mean, they've sold millions of albums. Can you Twisted? Twisted's gone gold. Are they underground?
people, I want to say they're still underground, but
yeah, I guess it's an opinion question. But I'm trying to think in the underground who I'd love to work with. I'd like to do a song with Shaggy Two Dope. That would be hilarious. I'd love to do that.
like obviously you've done stuff with LSP.
Yeah, those are my boys. Insane Poetry, Scum. Shout out to all of them. Razakel, I give a shout out to Razakel and Team She. We just did a track, me, Raz, and Danny Diablo. It just came out called Blood Spray last month. But I love everything they're doing there. They're good friends of ours. I love watching all of them succeed. You know what I mean? Like it's great to see all that. Like, and we've all worked hard for so long. Everybody deserves the success that they have. Scum is killing it, and Denver is killing it everywhere he goes. And I love seeing it. You know, I love seeing Wicked Wisco come back with all the guys that around here. I'm hoping Damian Quinn and well, not Damian Quinn. I'd love to see back out doing things. Bloody Ruckus is back out doing things. He's out of jail. Good for him. It's great to see like Wicked Wisco scenes coming back. It's cool.
Bloody Ruckus yesterday.
What's that?
I was just talking with Bloody Ruckus yesterday.
Did he go off track 20 times? I love you, Bloody.
Who was the other one you said beside Bloody Ruckus? Oh, I was thinking Kim Dracula. NGS.
I don't know Kim Dracula. I don't want to front like I know. I've heard the band, but I don't really know them. I haven't really listened to any of their stuff.
You obviously know who NGS is.
Oh, NGS. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to
he's
NGS.
pretty much like a splitting image of Kim Dracula.
Oh, all right.
So we call him Kim
Yeah,
Dracula.
I get what you're saying. Yeah. Shout out to NGS. He's done a couple shows with me too. It's been cool.
He's definitely stepped his game up a lot.
Yes. He's improving every time. Like he's getting a bigger fan base. And he grinds. Like good for him. Like the first show I did with him, like this guy's he's gonna do well because he was serious about his business. You know what I mean? Like you gotta have fun, but you also gotta in the underground, you gotta be a part of the business and be serious about it. The thing that drives me nuts, like I said, like with these shows that have like 12 artists, a lot of these artists aren't promoting the show, aren't even bringing like 3 or 4 people out. Like what are you doing to contribute to the show? You're hurting the show if you're not being a part of it in the way of you're promoting it and you're bringing a couple heads out. Like, you know what I mean? Like we need that in the underground. Back in the day, Wicked Wisco shows would draw 200 people is because every single artist that opened and played was drawing 10, 20, 30 people on their own. You know what I mean? Like that those numbers add up.
Oh yeah. Quick too.
Yeah. But let's be real too. The underground's been fractured a little bit in the scenes we do. You know, the Twisted Beef with ICP's Hurt Things, and it's fractured because everyone, just like unfortunately the world, for some reason everything's fractured, and you can't be with this person or this person or this person, and it hurts the crowds too, man.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Especially at a gathering, like the size how it used to be was insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of those gatherings were like 10,000 plus people. You know what I mean?
I think they were up to like 30, 20, 25 at some point.
Yeah, it ain't nowhere near that anymore.
Oh, no. A few thousand, probably.
So, to the underground, stop bitching at each other. Start living and loving.
It's not your beef. Listen to what you want to listen to. That's what a juggalo is being about, you know, being who you are and being accepted.
You're not supposed to give a shit, right? I always say this to people: juggalos and punk rockers, even though they may not look exactly the same or listen, you know, the music's different, they very much have the same ethos of how things are supposed to work. And you know, punk rockers are supposed to be like, I'm gonna do this, fuck you, this is who I am, but don't hurt anyone, right? Juggalos are the same thing. You know, it's fuck your rebel flag. It's I'm going to be, if I want to be just grimy, dirty, but a loving person, like that's what punk rock is too. You know what I mean? Juggalos are the same thing. Like I'm going to do this, fuck you. I am who I am. Punk is the same way. Juggalos are just an extension of punk rock. Or how it used to be.
They both got shit in common, like fuck the government. You know what I mean?
Yes. Well, we should always say. I mean, hold on. Is the government listening? Turn our phone off.
They're always listening.
It's always supposed to be never trust the government, never trust, you know, anyone in power. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter what side it is. Just because we just had 2 different, an R and a D, right? I don't trust either one. Fuck them. That's punk rock.
What's an artist that you listen to that a lot of people would be surprised you listen to?
My favorite artist of all time is Neil Young. If I was on a desert island and I only had one fucking artist to listen to, it would be Neil Young.
Why Neil Young?
I grew up, my mom, when I was a kid, that was the first like vinyls that she had that she played me, and like it calms me. It like nothing else can calm me. Like his words, his guitar, and the way he was the original punk rock dude from the 60s. You know what I mean? He was a hippie, but he was punk rock, you know? He did his own thing, didn't give a fuck. And I've always respected that about him, and he's my favorite artist, hands down. Don't get me wrong. If I had to do a top 5, it'd be Suicidal, Cypress Hill, like I said, Neil Young, maybe Testament or Anthrax. And then I don't know, but Neil Young, I have to have Neil Young records. If I can't get any other records, it's gotta be Neil Young.
Was you still have your mom today?
Yes, my mom and pops are still around. Thank you to my higher power. Yes, they're still around.
Awesome.
My dad had cancer, and he's clean, or he's clear from it now. You know, it could come back, but he's doing good. So
that's awesome.
I thank every moment that they're alive. You know, it's good.
For sure. What was your mom's reaction when she finally realized like you made it in the music industry?
It's probably the first time she didn't know really. She's like, I don't know about this, but we did. There was this thing called, I think it was called like the Jim Beam's Rocket to Stardom, and the first contract was $10,000. So you had to go through this like battle of the bands, and it was a Midwest thing. I still have like photos of it and stuff like that, and it was sponsored by, like I said, Jim Beam. There was a couple other sponsors, but like the shows were fucking huge, and we had to like go through like 8 different weeks, and we ended up winning the whole thing and won the $10,000. And she's just like, oh shit, this is kind of legitimate, you know?
8 weeks now, was that like every day for 8 weeks, or was it like once a week?
It was through like a 4-month span. So we would play a week, and then like 2 weeks later we would play the battle winner of those other 2 weeks. It was like a constant drawing, but there was like a eight total shows, or maybe it was 6 total shows we had to play, but you had to beat all 4 bands in that day. So it was constantly like, it was judged by like 5 or 6 different judges, but then it was also judged by the crowd, and like it was packed. Like all these shows were like 300-400 people, and the final one was like over 1,000 people, which is crazy for unsigned acts to have that kind of, like, we played in front of 1,000 people as an unsigned act, basically winning it all. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was like, okay, this could be a big thing. And then it's just, it's gone from there, you know, touring. I'm not super famous. Like I was telling you before we started this, I'm realistic about who I am and who I draw and how famous I am. I'm not famous. I'm a working musician. I get to tour. I get to play with a lot of bands that are bigger than me, and I know how to sell merch, and I know how to grind. So my numbers aren't crazy high, but I make a living doing this. I have to subsidize it through other things, but I've learned how to do that. And I'm an old man now, but I still tour all the time. And it's because I know the business, and I have a love for it. And it's all about how you market yourself. You know what I mean? Like everyone looks at Spotify numbers, but they're not looking at every other aspect of it. You know what I mean? There's so many different ways to make money in this game, and you gotta understand how it works.
Right. And with those numbers, how many of those numbers are actually from
Yes.
one person? You know what I
yes.
mean? Instead of it individually giving you stats.
People
like
these days want to just look at numbers and think that's your money. It's not. Trust me. I'm going to tell you, anyone in the underground, you go look at my numbers, they're pathetic compared to some of these people. Pathetic. But if you look at our end of year tax statements, I'm going to win. That's all I got to say.
I would say you're famous. There's like a lot of people I meet, and like your name comes up with a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
Your name's out there quite a bit, but
no, I'm not degrading myself or anything. I know where I fit in the grand scheme of things in the underground, and I've done a lot of music, but you'd have to really understand who I am and research me to really know everything I've done. So, like I said, if I go out and I headline myself, let's be realistic. If I can get 20 people as on my own, everywhere in the country. That's what it's gonna be. You know what I mean? That's the underground. That's how it is. I need to either be a support act, or I need really strong locals that know who I am and know the scene. So, like I said, you came out to that one show on the Stack Styles, my and Danny Diablo's Holidays Hidden Rips tour. That wasn't a great show, right? It's part of the underground. Like, I don't dodge those numbers. I don't dodge what that is. Like, I respect that.
That show was also a pop-up, like last minute type deal, and there was no promotion from Whiskey Dick.
Yeah, exactly. So there's always some kind of thing that happens, but I don't see shame in that. As like, some people are going to talk. I get people online. I don't know if you checked it out. Reddit right now, I got one of my videos on there, and Reddit is just destroying me on there. And I laugh about it because, one, everyone's opinion's different. I don't care. I know I love it, and I know that I'm doing good in it, but it's part of the music. You can put yourself out there, and you're gonna get people talking shit. It's fine though. Like, you can talk shit about me. I don't care. Everybody, it's fine. My friends talk more shit than anyone in the underground.
There's big time artists that shit happens to. They'll just cancel the show.
I tell people all the time. I've worked with a lot of artists, not even just with Force 5, but like artists in the underground and artists with big labels, and they get really hurt when they see something online that someone comments about them. And the thing I always tell them, like, Eminem is probably the biggest artist in rap, right? Whatever. He's got 100 million followers on Spotify, whatever it may be. His numbers are insane. He still has a ton of people that talk shit about him.
Oh, yeah.
ICP, one of the biggest in the underground. Twisted, one of the biggest in the underground. People talk shit about them nonstop. So you're going to get that no matter who you are,
And it's crazy, like thinking about that Eminem situation. Like, Mono came out in an interview and said that he tried to get Eminem signed to Psychopathic Records. Could you imagine the route that would have
been crazy, right?
Elevated like both fan bases too.
Yeah, that would have been insane. But you know what? Both sides did well for themselves, so it is what it is,
What up, Swill? Whoop, whoop. What's your top 5 underground? Not in any specific order. Top 5 underground artists, in your opinion.
In the
Mount Rushmore.
Cottonmouth Kings, we talked about this. Cottonmouth Kings is top 5 underground. It's got to be. ICP has to be. You know what I mean? Like, I like Cottonmouth Kings more. I know a lot of your fan base probably likes ICP more, or Twisted. To me, Cottonmouth Kings, it spoke to me more because I like the punk rock aspect of it. But ICP, the reason I love Psychopathic and everything they did over there is the business aspect. Like, the way they ran things, just like Strange Music. But again, I can't put Tech Nine or Strange Music. They're mainstream. So, but Tech Nine came from the underground, so I don't know. Do I put it? How do you not put him on the Mount Rushmore? You're putting me on the spot here. Cottonmouth Kings for sure. All right. Ari the Rugged Man. He's in the underground. He's even Redman says he's the dopest MC. Rugged Man to me is the dopest MC.
You don't breathe.
What's that?
That motherfucker just keeps going. You don't breathe.
Yeah. He's ill. So those two. Fuck, man. I'm trying to think.
Two
more in the underground. There's so many great ones. Insane Poetry. He was before underground was underground. He was underground, and his voice is legendary. And it's not just because he's my friend. I truly, truly believe he is the epitome of the underground. You know what I mean? So I got to give him his flowers for. I love Insane Poetry's voice, and this isn't just being his friend. This is me being for real. And then fuck, I'm trying to think. There's so many. I don't want to diss anyone because there's so many good ones. Who did I say so far? I said ICP, right?
Yeah, Cottonmouth Kings.
Yep. Insane Poetry.
I'm
trying to think any.
Did you have Twisted on there?
I know again the fan base can be upset, but I put Twisted
Oh
and
no, most of the people like give me shit because I'm a Twisted fanatic. They like ICP and shit, but
no, I know sounds bad. I give them together. I give Psychopathic as the Mount Rushmore. And when I say that, I mean that old era, with ABK and all that, like that because of what ICP created, it created this amazing thing in the underground for a while. And that's why I have to put, when I say ICP on Mount Rushmore, I actually mean like that whole label. You know what I mean?
like the original lineup roster.
Yeah. Because that was amazing what they did. And then how else I probably put on there? Necro. Necro.
Really?
Yeah. Because Necro is on the East Coast of the underground. You know what I mean? Like what he did with Ill Bill and what was the group? I'm having a brain fart. But all his production on all that stuff, and then what he did, and then Psychological Records and stuff like that, like Necro's huge. And the way he did his marketing and business, you got to put him in there. So yeah, I'm probably gonna think about this after we get off the air and be like, "Fuck, I forgot this person," but
right.
That's what I say right now.
That always happens, though.
Yeah.
Shit. Is there something that you wanted to speak about? That, let me rephrase that. Is there a question that you've always wanted to be asked, but nobody's ever asked you?
Yeah. Am I happy? I'm kidding. No, not really. Not really. No, I don't think so.
No.
Like I told you, I like the fact that it's an honor to be on your show. It's an honor that you wanted to talk to me. It's an honor to sit here and talk music with you because I love doing this. It's an honor if there's one person watching us or 300. It's an honor to me that people want to talk music and chop it up with me. And I just love talking music. So no, every question was great to me, and I don't think I've ever had anything go, why didn't they ever ask me this? No, I don't have any things like that.
That's just a weird question that I asked everybody.
Yeah. No. But thank you for asking.
For sure. What's the most hype city you've performed on out of all the shows?
Well, obviously my hometown, like back in the day, was unreal. I'll always, Milwaukee, because I'm from here. But like outside of this, it's usually the smaller cities. Craziness like Albuquerque, Gallup, those New Mexico, those little cities, Boise, Idaho. When you get to them, people are they don't get as much music there. Maine, back in the day, me and DGAT did a show in Maine, and it was fucking insane because a lot of artists don't get to some of these spots. You know what I mean? So a lot of those small towns. I played a show with my band Soar back in the day. The city was called Pana, Illinois. Pana. It's hard to find on a map. It's way out of the way. It's in like a little farm country, and we went there and played, and we got so popular there. We came back like 3 or 4 times, and it was crazy how packed it would be. So it's those little towns, that really pop off on certain days. So I give a shout out to all the little towns.
I've seen ABK in Albuquerque, and that shit was insane.
Yes.
I turned the fuck up in Albuquerque.
Yeah, yep. Me and Mars did a show. It was somewhere in Arizona. It was right near, I think, Intrinsic. Do you remember Intrinsic's part of M&E now, right? He does a lot of work with them. I think he booked that show, but it was like on a Indian reservation, and I can't remember where it was in Arizona. Dude, it was so packed. I've never sold so much merch in my life. You know what I mean? It was crazy. I think I did $3,000 in merch, and it was me and Mars on a tour. It's fucking nuts.
Have you played PA?
Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yep. I played Pittsburgh and Philly a bunch of times. I did a bunch with Primer. I don't think Soar ever played there, and I've done some of the DRP stuff. I was on the Scarhead tour 2 years ago in Pittsburgh. It was Scarhead, me, and Concrete Dream on a tour. So I don't think on this next run though, next month, I don't think we play. Maybe we do play Pennsylvania. I gotta check. Because we start in Cleveland February 20th, and then we head towards Pennsylvania next before we hit the East Coast with New York and Jersey.
Oh yeah, Swill's gonna be blowing you up. But yeah, anybody watching in here that ain't subscribed to Swill's Edition, go give that homie a subscribe. He does a bunch of wild shit. Sits around, talk shit.
Yeah, there we go.
Is there any places that you haven't played that you want to play? Probably.
Well, like I said, besides
Red Rock?
overseas, Red Rocks would be amazing. I would love to do that, but that would have to be the special right moment for that to happen. But yeah, I've gone past there, but I've never played there. It would be amazing to do that.
But what were you saying overseas?
Yeah, I just want to get overseas. That's
Like Europe, Australia.
Yeah.
What draws you to be over there to play?
I've for 20 plus years now I've been touring the States. I've played 90% of the cities around. Like I've been around the United States a fucking ton, but I've never gotten to see, any of the sites overseas. So one of the reasons I like music is I get to travel and see new sites and people and cultures. You know what I mean? I want to see all the different cultures. So I want to try the different foods. I want to see how, the people respond to things. And so I'd be like a kid in a candy store when I get to tour overseas.
Now, is that like a thing you want to do with like the whole Force 5 label? Take all the boys over?
I would love to do that, but I think first it would probably be my band Angry Corpses with Tim, the original guitar player from MOD. Either we would do that, or I talked to Hoya and Danny. If Smoke AD goes over there, I'd like to open for them. Hardcore and hip hop do mix very, very well in a lot of spots. So just like this tour, I'm going out with Scarhead as the DRP. With Smoke AD, I'd like to go over there with them.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Probably wrap it up here.
Hell yeah, brother.
To do some other time, dig in with some other shit.
Definitely. Like I said, I appreciate you having me on. And if you guys can, go to force5records.com. That's FORCE, the number 5 records.com, or check me out on Instagram. Wherever I go on tour February 20th with Scarhead and Disaster Piece. I got a lot of other shows lined up. The Ruckus Mixtape Volume 4 drops in April, and we got a lot more music on Force 5 coming out. And my newest album, Enter the Ruckus, came out in October. Check that out. And thank you, brother Lee. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. Sorry, it was all over the place, but
yeah, it's all good, brother. All good. My brain works the same way.
Right. I can't just fucking go from like the beginning straight through. It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Like bounce all over. But yeah, appreciate you coming on as well.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it, man. Ruckus.
Ruckus. Oh yeah, one more thing. There's probably quite a few people that are going to see this that don't know who you are. Where would you say to start at listening to your music?
Well, if you like new metal, check out Soar, SORE. My solo stuff's the DRP, or you can check out Primer 55 or Angry Corpses. Angry Corpses is my newest band. That's, like I said, that's the original guys from MOD. If you like, I do a lot of different things. So I do that. The Angry Corpses is more thrash metal. The DRP is like a little bit of everything, hip hop, the underground, and Soar is new metal. So, and Primer 55 was new metal too. So,
what if you didn't know nothing about any type of music
I would tell them
about them if they just asked you that question?
I'll tell them to check out my not my first album, but my second, The King of Ruckus Rap. Check that one out. That's a good place to start. It's a little combination of everything because it's got Primer on it, it's got Soar on it, and it's my hip hop stuff. It's got Saint Dog, Gillies, Big Hoss. So check that one out. The DRP's The King of Ruckus Rap. That's a good starting spot.
For sure. All right.